Hello, and welcome to the Big Bear Homestead. Today, we're going to show you how to set a land trap for coyotes, foxes, and other predators in that range. We're going to be using a Victor 1.75 offset and laminated with a base plate, D-ring, 3 swivels, and a bullet stake. This is your basic coil spring trap, levers, pan, just like your from the raccoon video. It's the same pieces, pans, dog. So what we got to do is we got to find a place where we think the coyotes have been traveling. We got some old coyote dried out feces here, and before trapping season we were seeing a lot of paw prints here, and they were coming up here and going up our road here. So basically what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to set a flat set right here. Okay, I got my backing. It's just an old chunk of granite rock. Now for backing you can use anything. I've heard guys using a pile of cow manure, skulls, logs, branches, rocks, tires, anything that will prevent your predator from coming backside. You want to be able to make him come in the front way. Okay, so the first thing we got to do is we got to make our trap bed. I take my 3-in-1 tool, move this out of the way, and we'll bust up the ground a little bit.
Can I try?
We're going to get a nice area where we can get a good bed. Now this will be kind of difficult because this ground is kind of hard.
Yes, it is.
What I like to do is try to make when I got hard dirt like this, I try to dig it out about the size of my trap. So that way, and I like to go a lot deeper than what I'm going to be because I want my pan level with the ground. But I need to bust it up to make this loose dirt so I can bed it so that way my trap doesn't wobble. Because if he missteps and it wobbles, it's going to take his attention away from my lure and stuff to make it wonder why the ground wobbled, and then he'll probably dig it up, and then you're in a whole world of hurt because you just educated a critter. See, I got plenty of room in there to set and bed this trap down. So now I'm going to take my stake. Now, I have a tremendously long drive stake. I lost mine, so one of my old trapping buddies from the old school decided he was going to teach me a lesson and made me a super duper long drive stake to teach me a lesson to make sure that I remember to pick up all of my tools while trapping. And that was, let's see, he made that for me 8 years ago, 9 years ago. I haven't left it behind since. So, thanks, Steve. Watch out. And basically, what you want to do is drive this stake down in. I like to go to my first swivel, maybe even all the way to my second swivel. If the ground permits it. Okay, that should be good. Now, the downfall to this stake driver is that sometimes it sticks in my stakes, in my bullet. So I usually have to vibrate it, loose that away, try to spin it, and bring it up like that. Now, those bullet stakes, you have to do what they call set them. Because right now that stake is still going up and down. So what we have to do is to make it go perpendicular, I have to grab my trap and give it a yank. You see how it raised up just a little bit? That's basically the bullet going straight up and down, boop, like that. So now it's locked in there. To be able to get that bad boy out, you got to have a stake puller or you got to dig it out. Now, you set your Victor 175 just like you do our number ones and stuff that we showed you in the coon trapping videos. More important now, we're on land. Number one important thing is gloves to help guard your scent from your scent getting on the trap. Also, if you notice, I'm still wearing my chest waders, which are rubber, which also helps protect my scent from getting onto the ground. Now see how I got that trap pan? Level as it can be. Okay? So now I need to bed my trap. What I do is I stick it down in my hole, and I always try to take my dog and I'll put it at about 1 o'clock to where my backing is going to be. Try to get everything bed down. Now you do have to be careful at this point when you're packing stuff down. See how it wiggles there a little bit? I don't want that. See how that's kind of solid now? See? Moves a little but not a lot. And then I'll just backfill in, pat it down real nice. Be careful when you're doing this around your dog, because if you bump it, you can set the trap off, and that would be an extremely bad day for your hand. Now, to get a good set in, taking your time your first couple of times, it'll probably take you about 30-45 minutes. I think it takes me roughly 10 to 15 now, and I mean, I know some of my older trapping buddies, they can put one of these in about 5 minutes tops. I'm still kind of a little bit of a perfectionist. I kind of take my time and try to make it as pretty and as natural as possible, so that way he has to really outsmart me. I can't look at my set and go, well, you know, I should have done this or I should have done that. I do that while I'm out here, while I'm putting it in the ground. Now, one of the things that you want to make sure of, and I should have put it on it, but I didn't, is a pan cover. Now you can get the fiberglass net ones that lay over top of it, or you can get the cone one that you set down on top of it, so that way you can sift your dirt underneath it. If you get absent-minded and you forget, like I do sometimes, just keep you a small stick steadied by, so that way when you go to sift the dirt, you can clean out from underneath your pan, your trap pan. So you want to make sure that this area under here stays as dirt free as possible, because the trap, when the animal, because your target is to try to get your animal to step in the center part, right on the middle of that pan. And so if he steps on the middle of that pan, you got dirt under there, and it doesn't let the pan go down all the way, it just goes down a little bit and doesn't fire, well then you just missed a good opportunity to catch a coyote or a fox. So then you take your sifter, okay? Now these things come in all different shapes and sizes and everything. You can make some out of home, out of hardware cloth, 1/4-inch hardware cloth or smaller, with a box, just a box of wood, and just a simple sifter. And you just take your dirt and you just sift it over your set, okay? This is not my most favorite sifter because I think that the holes are too small in this one. And this is what usually eats up my time. I think I might have another one in the truck or somewhere. But every now and then, I got it. Good. Come in here and clean off your pan, because that's another thing that you want. You want your pan to be the lowest spot in your set. That way he will step there. Because you want him to come in, if you're backing, with your backing being right here, okay? You want him to walk in here and you want him to step down like this, because he's going to want to smell it. So you want him to put his paw right here with his nose right there. So that's your target. And most of your canines are more likely to step into the lowest spot versus a high spot, so that way they can get lower with less effort. So what we'll do is, let's try this one. It's got the same small holes in it, unfortunately. A little bit better. Now, if this thing fires on me while I'm doing it, y'all are going to get a treat, because I'll get a face full of dirt. And then we'll show you what that stinking cover looks like. As long as you clean that out like that, you should come back. Okay, now you zoom in here, you can see how the center of the pan is lower than anything else around it. Now I'm just going to take a light thing of dirt and cover up my pan. Okay, now we're almost done. A couple of things left you need to do. Okay, one, of course, you have to lure it. Okay, but before we can lure it, we need to put in what is called guide sticks. Okay, and what they do is guide your canine into stepping where you want it to step. So you can just take a stick like this. Now, there are tons of arguments about whether you do it wide for a coyote or narrow. I've watched guys in an association meeting argue for hours about which way was better. My thing is experiment. Try everything. Now I always like to put one right about where my dog is, like this, so that kind of forces him to step right there in that area. Okay. And that's a flat set. Now all I got to do is put my lure back on that rock somewhere and walk away and come back hopefully in the morning and we'll have a coyote or a fox in there. I hope this helped any of you guys out on how to make a flat set. This is a flat set. Don't forget to check us out on the web at www.bigbearhomestead.com. Give us a like on Facebook. Go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube. And have a nice day.